Assalamu alaikum dear students. Now today's topic is next part of the algae, that is red algae, and they have been put in a class that is called as Rhodophyceae. Rhodo means red and Phyceae means seaweed. So they have been called as, and there are more than 5,000 species in this class. More than 5,000 species in this class. And majority of the red algae जो हैं, about 98% of the red algae जो हैं, they are marine. And a few, there are about 20 species. They are found in fresh water. There is one common that is called as Batrachuspermum. Batrachuspermum. It is commonly called as frog spawn. It is found in fresh water. And mostly these are lithophytes. As these grow on the rocks, they are attached to rocks. They are found in both lighted region, both well lighted region in waters, that is photic zone. उसको बोलते हैं हम photic zone, close to the surface of water. Lighted zone हो गया वही, that is close to the surface of water. And also a great depths. About 30 to 90 meters deep in the seawater, where light relatively little light जो है, little light penetrates, and these have specialized pigments by which they can harvest that light, dim light, and they can bring about photosynthesis. This is their property. So they can live in very relatively little light regions. And motile cells are absent in their life cycle. Motile cells are absent in their life cycle. Now thallus जो है, thallus in most of the red algae it is multicellular, but there may be the unicellular forms also. Thallus may be unicellular. There is one that is called as Porphyridium. Porphyridium, it is unicellular. Porphyridium is unicellular, and there are branched filamentous forms. branched filamentous forms. There is one that is called as Supermothamnion. 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 These are filamentous forms. And there are sometimes the pseudofilamentous or pseudoparenchymatous asterocysts. It is pseudofilamentous, partially filamentous, or pseudoparenchymatous. Now there is parenchymatous sheet. Parenchymatous sheet. Sheets. That is leaf-like है ये. They are called as parenchymatous sheets. This porphyra. Some are ribbon-shaped. Ribbons. For example, there is one that is called as chondrus. Chondrus उसको बोलते हैं. And there are graceful lace-like, beautiful lace-like. That is geladium. Geladium. And their length जो है, size जो है, size ranges from up to, they are not very large, up to half a meter. Microscopic, that is unicellular, to half a meter. Their cell wall जो है, cell wall of the red algae, the cell wall contains cellulose, that contains cellulose and pectic substances, pectic compounds. Cell wall, pectic compounds, and certain mucopolysaccharides. Mucopolysaccharides, and those are called as phycocolloids. Phycocolloids, which we last discussed, that some mucopolysaccharides are associated with the cell wall. They are called as phycocolloids. And these phycocolloids are sulfated. जो last time मैंने कहा था, these are sulfated. And the important phycocolloids of rhodophytes are, there is agar-agar, there is carrageenan, and there is another that is called as funori. These are the phycocolloids which are derived from red algae. And sometimes they also yield the bromine. Bromine is also derived from some algae. Now, some of the red algae, they possess calcium carbonate in their cell wall. Cell wall के साथ attached associated होता है calcium carbonate, and this calcium carbonate helps in the formation of coral reefs और limestone. Limestone बनाने के काम आता है ये when it is deposited. When it is deposited at the bottom of the oceans, they may help in the formation of coral reefs or limestones. Now the photosynthetic pigments जो हैं, photosynthetic organelles जो हैं, these are chromatophores. Chromatophores. Chromatophores are like the chloroplasts, but they are not called as chloroplasts. These contain chlorophyll A, and chlorophyll D, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll D, carotenes and xanthophylls. Along with these, chromatophores are these simple chromatophores are small granular structures, associated with chromatophores. They are called as phycobilisomes. There are chromatophores are simply unstalked or single thylakoids, and on these surfaces are the granular structures. These are called as phycobilisomes. These phycobilisomes जो हैं, they contain the pigments, additional pigments. Those are called as phycobilins. इनके साथ होते हैं associated. हाँ, ये हो गए क्रोमेटोफोर्स. इनके साथ होते हैं ग्रैनुलर स्ट्रक्चर्स. इन ग्रैनुलर स्ट्रक्चर्स को बोलते हैं फाइकोबिलिसोम्स. फाइकोबिलिसोम्स में होते हैं स्पेशलाइज्ड पिगमेंट्स जो कि ब्लू ग्रीन एल्गी में पाए जाते हैं. वो पिगमेंट्स उनको बोलते हैं फाइकोबिलिन्स. These are only found in red algae and these, so they are absent in other algae. Phycobilins. These phycobilins are of two types. Phycobilins are of two types. One is called as the phycoerythrin, that is red in color. रेड कलर्ड है, उसको बोलते हैं फाइकोइरिथ्रिन. एंड ब्लू कलर जो है दैट इज phycocyanin. And this phycocyanin have a derivative that is called as allophycocyanin. And red algae have dominance of this red phycobilin, that is phycoerythrin, so they are red in color. So the red color of the algae is due to abundant formation of phycoerythrin. And this phycoerythrin is able to absorb blue-green wavelengths of light. These wavelengths are able to reach the maximum depth in water. Therefore, red algae reach the maximum depth in the sea, where no other type of photosynthetic organisms grow. However, rhodophytes living in shallow waters do not appear reddish due to lesser synthesis of phycoerythrin. They are greenish, they are violet, or they are purplish. And ये reserve food material जो है, reserve food material is Floridian starch, उसको बोलते हैं. Reserve food material जो है इनका, that is Floridian starch. Floridian starch. It is very much similar. It is very much similar to glycogen and amylopectin. It is very much similar to glycogen and amylopectin. Vegetative reproduction occurs by the fragmentation. Vegetative reproduction जो है, vegetative reproduction in red algae occurs by the fragmentation and regeneration of holdfast. और जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया that if it is a red algae, it has the attachment with the rock or any other substance that is called as holdfast, and there is long stalk, stem like, that is setae, and you know this is called as the lamina or frond. Last time मैंने बताया था आपको. तो अगर ये यहाँ से कट जाता है, this holdfast can regenerate into the new algae, into the new plant body. Asexual reproduction occurs by asexual reproduction जो है, asexual reproduction occurs by the formation of non-motile spores. Non-motile spores. Asexual reproduction होती है by non-motile spores से. Suppose there are number of types of spores हैं. There is one that is called monospores. Monospores बोलते हैं कुछ को. Neutral spores बोलते हैं. There are also carpospores भी. कार्पोस्पोर्स एक टाइप है इनका. टेट्रास्पोर्स, चार होते हैं वो एक ही साथ. टेट्रास्पोर्स, कार्पोस्पोर्स भी. That means you have to remember only that there are no motile spores, there are only non-motile spores, special spores. Now, sexual reproduction occurs by the very complex process that is oogamy. However, you have to remember that these male gametes are not motile, they are without flagella. The male sex organ is called सुपरमेटेंजियम और एंथ्रीडियम जो मेल सेक्स ऑर्गन है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सुपरमेटेंजियम, सुपरमेटेंजियम और एंथ्रीडियम और एंथ्रीडियम, इट प्रोड्यूसेस द नॉन मोटाइल, इसमें से नॉन मोटाइल गैमीट्स बनते हैं, स्मॉल नॉन मोटाइल गैमीट्स, दे आर कॉल्ड एज सुपरमेशिया, सुपरमेशिया उनको बोलते हैं। द फीमेल सेक्स ऑर्गन इज फ्लास्क शेप्ड, वो ऐसे होता है फ्लास्क शेप्ड, फ्लास्क शेप्ड। The female sex organ is flask shaped, flask shaped. It is termed as Carpogonium. Carpogonium. एंड सुपरमेशिया जो है, these male gametes जो हैं, they are taken by water, they are taken by water currents to the receptive, और इसको बोलते हैं हम, इसको ट्राइकोगाइन, they are taken to the tricogyne, this part, and they bring about the fertilization. The female sex organ remains attached to the plant, ये प्लांट के साथ अटैच रहता है, दिस वन, एंड फॉर्म्स ए न्यू स्ट्रक्चर कॉल्ड, उसके बाद जाइगोट बनेगा, देन इट डेवलप्स इनटू द न्यू स्ट्रक्चर, जाइगोट के बाद ये न्यू स्ट्रक्चर में, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज कार्पोस्पोरोफाइट, कार्पोस्पोरोफाइट। इस कार्पोस्पोरोफाइट जो है, कार्पोस्पोरोफाइट डेवलप्स इनटू into a diploid structure, ये diploid structure बनाता है, and then it forms the spores, those are called as carpospores. शॉर्टली मैंने आपको बताया बेटा, that male sexual organ is called as supermetangium और एंथ्रीडियम, उसमें बनते हैं नॉन मोटाइल स्मॉल एक्टिव these male gametes, उनको बोलते हैं supermecia, and female sex organ is flask shaped, it is called as carpogonium, इसमें यहाँ पर एक नेक जैसा होता है, दैट इज ट्राइकोगाइन, इलोंगेटेड स्ट्रक्चर। उसके बाद वाटर करंट्स टेक दी सुपरमेशिया अप टू दिस कार्पोगोनियम, दे ब्रिंग अबाउट द फर्टिलाइजेशन, दे फॉर्म द जाइगोट, जाइगोट देन डेवलप्स इनटू a sporophytic structure that is called as कार्पोस्पोरोफाइट, कार्पोस्पोरोफाइट के अंदर बनते हैं फिर कार्पोस्पोर्स, और यही कार्पोस्पोर्स हमने यहाँ लिखा था, these are actually the sexual spores, and carpospores can develop into new individuals. So these have a sporophytic generation and a gametophytic generation. इनमें प्लांट बॉडी और एक है। सो दिस जो इनका लाइफ साइकिल है, लाइफ साइकिल हैज 2 or more phases, and so it is said to be haplodiplomatic. So the life cycle जो है इनका, life cycle is haplodiplomatic, or you can say diplohaplomtic, and there is alternation of generation, जो है इनमें, with an alternation of generation is mostly isomorphic. isomorphic means to some extent they are similar. What? Sporophyte and gametophyte are similar. And number of these red algae जो हैं, number of red algae are used as food. They are used as food. And there is porphyra. Porphyra वो use करते हैं as food. There is Rhodophyceae. Rhodophyceae, these is also used as food. And there is Chondrus, Irish moss उसको बोलते हैं. Chondrus, it is called as Irish moss, although it is not a moss plant, it is called as Irish moss. और porphyra जो है, it is cultivated in Japan for as food. And you know this agar जो है, जो मैंने last time बताया था, agar is derived from red algae and it is solidified. Laboratory culture media में use होता है ये. And preparation of jellies, creams, cheese, bakery में use होता है. And agar is obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria. Last time मैंने बताया था आपको. Now carrageenan जो और एक है, carrageenan another phycocolloid. It is an cleaning agent. ये एक clearing agent use होता है. Clearing agent use होता है in liqueurs, in leather finishing में, हाँ, आइसक्रीम्स और टूथपेस्ट में यूज होता है. And Funori जो है, Funori is another phycocolloid. It is a glue used as adhesive. Adhesive के तौर इस्तेमाल किया जाता है. And it is used in sizing textiles, papers, etc. कोरोलिना जो है, कोरोलिना एक रेड एल्गा है. It is used to curing worm infections. That means it is used as medicine. It is used as medicine.